Hi, my name's Lily and welcome to Small Talk. Sorry about the noise and the position. I'm not in the usual part of my house today because in fact we actually have a protest going on outside, and it seems to be gig workers because they've all brought their mopeds down and are making a lot of noise outside the government building that I live opposite. For those of you who are new here, I live in Barcelona. I'm from the UK, but I've been here for years and I make videos about politics. A lot has been coronavirus influence recently, but hopefully that will change as we start living more developed lives with more things involved in them. So yes, welcome to this part of my house, which looks like a medieval dungeon, but yes, it was. It's an old lady who rents it to me, so there you go. I just wanted to check in because I haven't been on this for a while and I'm sorry. It's just that, as I'm sure many of you are aware, I spent about 48 days inside under lockdown without going further than my supermarket. And since being released into the world and having entered phase 2, then phase 3 of the different lockdowns that we have in Spain, we are now in the new normality and I have been enjoying myself a lot. So, but I thought I'd come here and check in because I've seen some things in the UK and I thought maybe you'd find it interesting to see how we're managing here with this opening up and what it's been like. A few weeks ago, you may remember, but I'll link it here, I made a video about how coming out of lockdown was going to look. Now, Spain has had probably the strictest in the world outside of like Wuhan and the original places in China and maybe South Korea. It's been very, very strict, you know, Spain and Italy. And it was an extreme situation. It was something that I struggled with mental health. But you know, we were then told at a certain stage when the numbers were looking right, when the R number has come down, the deaths are coming down, hospitals are back in capacity, we were told that there would be this phasing of kind of releasing lockdown, and we had phase 0 to phase 3, which then passes into the new normality. So no back to normal life, the new normality. So it was very interesting emphasis, and I've broken that all down in a video. Now, this was an asymmetric kind of easing of lockdown across the country. So different regions were released at different points once they had internally met the criteria needed to pass to the next stage. So I felt like we have been given a lot of information. There has been disappointment, but on the whole, I feel like the system has worked and it's been kept safe. Now that we are in the new normality, there are some things that are staying around. Now, I want to talk about what we saw in the UK with the images of Bournemouth Beach. You've seen Durdle Door, there's outrage all over the internet. Now, the UK is going through a heat wave. You've got some really hot weather there. And of course, people flock to the beach. Now, for the government to be like, this is, not what you should be doing, unless there is any sort of infrastructure to help enforce or to help people make these decisions or to enforce guidelines, okay, you don't need to be fining, you don't need to make it illegal, but to help the population manage itself, I just feel like it's still kind of on the negligent side. Like, with a public emergency like this, with a pandemic, we don't need to have so much onus on the individual. And this has been a recurrent theme of my kind of criticism of the UK government throughout this coronavirus situation. So I want to just contrast. For example, I went to the beach here last weekend. I went on Saturday to the Barcelona beaches, which are very busy. We're a huge metropolis and we have this coast and it gets very busy. So what happened? I turned up at about 1 p.m. and there was like this barrier along the beach, and then there were this sort of places you could pass through to the beach, so it was controlled, and there was a warden at each place who instructed you must stay 1.5 meters from the closest person. So our social distancing rule is 1.5 meters. So you must stay 1.5 meters from the next group of people. Please be safe, please be whatever. Then when you're on the beach, you have like these overhead announcements, maybe like every 15 minutes in 3 languages, Catalan, Castellano, Spanish, and English. And they talk to you about maybe general announcement about coronavirus, make sure you wear your mask when you cannot socially distance, make sure you're 1.5 meters, make sure that if you get symptoms, you self-isolate. But then the rest of the time, they give you updates on the beach's capacity. I mean, this is cool. So it's like, this beach has now reached capacity, please find another beach. Or this beach is nearing capacity, please think about, going home or whatever. And then by 3 o'clock, when it had got too busy and we were all socially distancing and we were fine, but we'd reached capacity, I looked behind me and the place that I had entered the beach has been locked off. there's 2 police officers and the warden's there, and there's a queue. There's a queue to enter the beach. And us Brits, we're supposed to love queuing. So how are the Spaniards queuing and there's nobody there helping us crowd control? I would love to hear what you think about that. So I just wanted to talk about how that has been. Now here, the other thing that I've heard is that in the UK, you've been told that you've moved from sweat level 4 to 3. That's fantastic. But I mean, we are still hovering very, very close to the reproduction rate of 1. And I think in pockets of the country that it is at 1. So I do always question that why there has to be such a centralised model to this in the UK. Obviously, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland have moved in their own ways. But even, why are we not breaking it down even to even more nuanced regions? For example, here in Catalonia, which is a region in Spain, we have been kind of hyper-localized into the provinces, in the province of Barcelona, but then even more so like in municipalities. So this is something that I don't understand, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on again. Also, you'll be interested to know that our social distancing rule is 1.5 meters, and it is compulsory to wear a mask where you cannot observe 1.5 meters, and you will be fined. But other than that, things are going really well here. There have been outbreaks, there's localized outbreaks, we have to keep an eye on that. But we haven't had deaths for a long time now. And I just look at the UK numbers, and the lockdown is being eased while there are still 100 to 200 deaths a day. So I have big questions there. I don't want to make this any longer today. I am going to try and check in again this weekend. Ooh, promises. If you like this today, please give me a like. It really helps. Please subscribe. I will be back making more content, and I hope that you are all well and your loved ones. And tell me how you've been. Okay, see you later. Bye.